Oh, there we go. I was looking at my phone. I got caught slipping. Hopefully not for too much. Welcome to Chef. Let's start that all again. Welcome to Piece of Pat Paints. I used to be a chef, and I was just answering chef questions. So, and big shout out to Brandon Lee, Chef Brandon Lee, friend of mine. He's currently working on some stuff for his current project, and had some questions. So you know, I still tip my toes into the chef world. Oh, my hair looks crazy. It's been a really tough day already for me. I had a little bit of seizure this morning, but I'm feeling a little bit better now. Kind of tired, but I'm kind of upset. I'm kind of a little upset. I didn't get to go to work. I was gonna go mess with some stuff over at the factory, and I just wasn't feeling it today, so I gotta have to mess with it tomorrow. Sorry, I just gotta go take some videos, send them out to China, see what China says. You know. So there's that. Anyway, yeah. How are you? Hope everything's going well in your world. Whenever you catch this, a lot of people catch it live, but some people do not. Some people catch us after the fact, which is super cool. We're painting a harpy and a skeleton today. Let's actually get kind of into this. They say you're supposed to like yim and haw for a while and let people come in, and I've been trying that, but I don't think it really helps. I think that matters when you have more people, which we currently do not. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do just a subtle dry brush. So I got a little white. I brushed a little bit of it off here on my paper towel. And we're just gonna kind of. Hey, there's Jared. Good to see you, friend. Going all right. Hey, those prints were looking nice. The prints I took a look at looked good. It was a lizard that my son saw that he was like, Dad, which print me one of those? I was like, dude, I don't have that kind of printer. So now I'm probably gonna have to get a filament printer. So thanks. But they look great. They look great. It's fun to. Printing is pretty cool. I really enjoy it. It's definitely made it to where I love doing miniature stuff, and I'm really good at small items. I'm really good at making the illusion of it looking like the things you want it to look like. But man, miniatures are not a cheap hobby. But 3D printing makes miniature hobbying a viable option for people on a maybe not so much of a budget. As long as you don't go crazy. I mean, you can easily, with anything, you can spend too much money. That's what it is. Very, very gently. We're just trying to grab all the points, give it a little bit of a highlight. Maybe come down just a little bit. I'm actually trying to get to where I can just do it on the camera. It's not easy. It's easier like with this stuff. I'm kind of training myself to do it. It's easier to do it on say, something like this, where we're just doing a little bit of dry brushing. If I mess this up too much, I can always fix it as I go, But it'd be neat if I could just learn how to paint like this, and then I could literally be talking to you while I was painting, because it would look like I'm literally talking right at you while I'm going. I don't know. And maybe that's creepy. I don't know. Maybe that's weird. Y'all let me know. It would be weird to have you. That's why you always just saw Bob's hand. When you're talking about when old Bob Ross was doing this stuff, you always saw Bob's hand. You saw him at the beginning. He kind of talked to you, and then a lot of times you'd see his back, like because he was at the canvas, or you saw his hand. It just kind of seemed weird, like looking in my ear on the camera. Life's a strange thing. Perspective is a strange thing. Perception is a strange thing. Some people have perception and lack perspective. And some people end up worrying too much about perspective or perception and end up with neither. So balance in all things, right? Balance in all things. That's kind of what we're trying to do here. Find a balance between the shadows and crevices, and where your highlights are going to be, trying to reveal all of that. When we can reveal it, we can make it much easier for us to see, and it'll help with this first round of shading. Getting that done. Now, of course, you could do this with an airbrush. Might actually be faster and easier with an airbrush, but not everybody owns one of those. Not everybody can have one of those. Like sometimes, if you're living in a little apartment or something like that, in the city, you might not have room for an airbrush just because you have other stuff in your life. Airbrush, you're talking about, like, it has to have a ventilation, it has to have room for the compressor, it has to have, there's a lot to it. So I kind of like being able to show people how to do stuff without necessarily the need for an airbrush, just because it's hard to get if you don't already have one, or again, there might be some people that don't even want to use one. I actually, I like airbrushes for some things. If I'm doing like a lot of work, a lot of flat panels, things like that, I like an airbrush for that. But I don't typically use airbrush on most of my minis or even my busts. I can pull out my airbrush till I have to do something large and I need it to be super smooth. That's typically where I pull out my airbrush. Like if I like painting a car or something like that. Yeah, oh yeah, airbrush priming is great. That's great. Airbrush for priming is it's a wonderful way to go. Except for the airbrush primers are almost more expensive sometimes than the rattle cans. So it depends on if I have any rattle cans or not. I do a lot of priming, so and sometimes with miniatures, I'll tell you this. GW's dang air rattle can primer is one of the best primers for miniatures there is. I hate to say that because I really, you know, I'm not a huge fan of their paints in general. I think they're too thin, and I think that they goof off with them. I have some issues with the way GW has presented their paint line over the years. Anyway, that. But I really like their Chaos Black primer for miniatures. It really, it's got just the right tooth to it. There's a kind of hard to explain, but the texture of it is just right. It's dialed in pretty good. Army Painters is pretty good too, but it's not quite as good as old James Workshop. It's one of the few things he still gets me on. That, and if I'm having to do official model work for people's armies. I almost did that some today. I think I have a couple miniatures to work on. That are 40K. And not just these guys here on my desk. Again, you could do a lot of dry brush here. Get yourself your texture started, things like that. That totally works. But I like the way that a dry brush won't quite let you in. You kind of have to create a texture with the color on some of these flatter surfaces. The pigment itself. I don't necessarily consider white a color, which may seem odd to a lot of people, but I really don't. Okay. Harpy is pretty well done. There we go. Like normal paints is there's a conversation on what some people consider normal paints. What I consider normal paints, what other people consider normal paints are not the same. Because normal paints to me are these ones that I have in these larger art tubes. But what everybody else that paints miniatures considers to be miniature normal paints is what I call miniature paint. But since I keep paint around for everything, I don't want to buy a whole separate thing of paints just to paint miniatures. I did that for a while, and it got super expensive, so I quit. Let's see one little spot I don't like. Kind of glad to be done with The Mandalorian. It looks good though. Turned out really well. Drop that. Those of you who didn't get to see it yesterday, turned out really well. Looks great. I really like the Mandalorian part of it. Looks really nice. I might go back and oh gosh, do a little bit extra touch-ups to it. There's a few places where I feel like maybe some of the stuff could be touched up too. But all in all, it looks pretty good. Definitely was a fun non-metallic metal. I don't normally do those, so it was fun to get back into practicing it. I definitely highly recommend everyone practice as many different styles as you can, even if it's not like something that you use regularly. You know, maybe you don't plan on using non-metallic metal and OSL and dry brushing. You don't plan on using it often, but you should do it every now and again. Yeah, the Mega Bundle. Nice. Yeah. Unpainted makes some pretty good products. I've got a couple unpainted paints around here. And their airbrush colors aren't bad at all. They make a decent little product. And the thing with, and we talk about this a lot on the channel, but it's always good to talk about it again. The thing with paints that everybody should remember is that you should go with what makes you comfortable. Even if you think that I'm some sort of great painter, which I don't think so, but I appreciate that somebody might. Don't get yourself locked into what I do. You should try what I do for sure. If you like that, then great. Keep it, right? Do that. But don't be afraid to try somebody else's techniques too, because you might decide that, hey, you know what? I like Pat's technique, and it was good, but I think this fits my style better. Or, you know, I want to take this part from what I learned on Pieces Pat Paints, and I want to combine it with this thing I learned over on this other channel. And then that's what you do. And that's called creating a style. You know, that's how you become your own thing. And I'm always looking at new techniques. I'm always trying to learn new things and change my game a little bit. I'm always practicing things that I've learned to get better at them. Because if you don't, then you get left behind, or you don't grow. You don't grow or anything, and which is why I did try dealing with some of the AI stuff, and I think there's some uses for it. But am I going to use it as a primary tool for what I do? Yeah, probably not. Beyond maybe some paperwork and some bookkeeping and stuff like that. But it's super cool we made that technology. Now I'm afraid that maybe the people who funded this technology don't really know what to do with it now, because you're in a really weird situation with it. So we'll see what happens. But there are definitely a lot of mundane tasks that I think AI can really take over and do for us. And I think if you're trying to get some concepts and stuff, it's got some great ways to pull up some quick concepts and then take those concepts and realize them as a true art piece. But you should always try out new things and don't be afraid. And like I said before, I doubt very seriously that AI will be able to completely take over artisan work. It just can't. It's just not how it works. We'll be able to do like cheap political ads on TV. Yeah. We'll be able to make you a quick logo if you need to put together a quick logo for your shop or whatever. Yeah, it'll help with that kind of stuff. But is it going to write the next greatest human epic? Doubtful. It's not the next J.R.R. Tolkien. It's just that's not going to happen. It's not the next Pablo Picasso. It's not going to create a whole idea of art. It's just going to replicate what it knows, because it's not actual AI like you think of in I don't know, the movies, where you think of Terminator or Data from Star Trek or some shit like that. That's not what it is. it's basically just a computation machine that is based off of what input it's had. My favorite thing to watch, if you haven't watched this, you should totally watch it because it's hilarious. You should watch them do 20 questions with AI. It is some of the funniest stuff you'll ever see in your life. AI and 20 questions, it's just a shit show. And it's fantastic. But eventually, even there, they'll figure out how to get it to do better. They'll figure out how to get it to answer the questions better, and they'll work on it. Or they'll run out of money. Whichever happens first. Okay. So there we go. About half an hour in, we are all set up, ready to rock and roll. We're going to do this here, Skeleton first. He is going to be way faster, so it'll be way easier. A little Naples yellow here. And Naples yellow is, again, it's a very common color. You can find this on, just about every paint shelf around. You can find a version of Naples yellow. I don't remember what they call it in, say, Army Painter or Citadel. I don't even think Citadel calls themselves Citadel anymore, do they? I think they changed it. I think it's Warhammer Color now. I haven't bought any in a while, but I think they changed their name to Warhammer Color. When I was young, when I was a young man, everything was Citadel Color, and like it all had its own different little things, White Dwarf was the magazine. And just a few supports in the back here. I'm trying to make sure we got them popped out. There we go. But yeah, it was a little different. You can see the corporate influences coming through and them trying to refine the product, which it's just the way of things. So really trying to get down into the little crevices. Oh, now I made it where I can't see. There's going to be, it looks like there's some details of bands and stuff on his arms. So we'll take a look at that after we kind of get this going. We're going to put a very, very thin dark wash on here. Something probably raw umber. You don't want to go with a black. You want to go with something a little bit more organic, which is why we would probably choose the umber. And that is some sort of something else. That's going to be... Ow, those were needles. Not sure what that is. It looks like some sort of chain or something that's attaching his breastplate. Not necessarily armor. It looks just like segments of something. A lot going on here for a little skelly bones. Really hard to get all the way in there, but if you take your time, read your way through it, just pay attention. Not too difficult. If you feel like you're making a mess of things or whatever, you can always change your brush size. a lot of times, if you feel like you're making a mess, it's your brush size doing it. I'm not quite there yet, so I'm just fine for now. It looks like they might have some wraps or something on there. Oh, we'll find out. Focus. Focus, Mr. Camera. Focus. Yeah, maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe we need to just bang it around for a second. I swear this worked better when we had the magnifying glass taped to it. Maybe we need to tape it back. Yeah, he's definitely wearing some sort of armor, which is cool. Again, like a bronze armor or something. That'd be neat. One of the things to remember is sequencing. A big thing to remember, I should say, is sequencing. Like, I want to get this stuff way down here done first. We get all these bones done first, right? Before I move on to anything else. So you get the sequencing where you need to know what the sequence is. This first, then this, then this, then this. Some of that comes from experience. Some of that's just you could teach. Somebody teach it to you, kind of like we do here on this channel, or any other great channels that are out there. But a lot of it, really comes down to just experience. Especially the execution of those steps. Like, you can hear a million times, do this step, do this step, do this step, and then you until you get yourself doing it, you can easily fall prey to old habits or not doing the right thing. The thing you want, I should say. Okay. We're getting close to decision time. Getting close to decision time. Okay. I wonder what kind of harpy we're going to do there. Oh, an old Ralpartha Battletech. Golly, I bet you that's fun. Oh. You actually have an? Do you actually have that Epic stuff? Do you have that stuff for Epic? That shit is. There's a listen. There is a side market for 40K Epic that is pretty cutthroat. Man, it's pretty funny. 40K Epic. For those of you who don't know 40K Epic, it is a it 40K did a series where they were trying to do like even bigger wars than what they were doing, and so they made like tiny little units, like an old 40K unit would be, smaller than this guy. The scale will be about that big, right? Well, this was like a whole squad that big. Not at the moment, but my eyes and ears are always looking. There you go. I like it. Yeah, it's that's about right. That's what. Yeah, I haven't looked at the prices recently, but it's usually pretty crazy. Let's take a look at some Harpies. See if we can grab some motivation here. I scratched up, beat up phone. You guys can't see that. I like the one with the blue and the wings. Maybe we should base off a Harpy Eagle. Kind of got that steely blue. Can easily just come back with that Payne's Gray and do that. That'd be easy. Yeah, 6mm versus 28 out of 32mm. Yeah, tiny. It was crazy. I don't know that I ever played it. I know I've seen it, and I think I've seen it get played, but I don't feel like I ever played it. I feel like I played Battlefleet Gothic though. I think we played that one. That was a pretty cool game. There's still people who play that one too. Not many. One of the Battlefleet Gothic players out there, if you see this, drop a hey in the comments. Tell us you still play it. Let us know. Be loud and proud too. You're crazy. Big rant. I'm expecting it. I'm expecting a big rant about how awful GW is for taking it away from you, because they deserve that. Looks like my Facebook has blown up. I may have made somebody angry before I came on here. Just for fun. I don't know. I seriously probably should stop just messing with people on Facebook. But sometimes, I just can't help it. I have to say something, because they've said something so weird that I have to say something, and then they get mad, and then I'm like, oh, well, if you're gonna get mad, then I'm gonna really poke at you, because now you made it a game, and I can't stop. This is a game. I love games. Oh, it's terrible. I should probably stay off. I should just probably stay off Facebook. Honestly, it's bad. It's a bad place. I commit bad decisions there. I make bad choices on Facebook. Oh man. Yeah, we got another show coming up. Might be I gotta pay for that. There's another show coming, which is great. Love having shows to do. Gotta go get my license not renewed, but replaced. Get that blue started. Kind of a blue anyway. So we're just kind of doing a little bit of an overlap here. We don't want to go too far. That's why I did those bottom ones first. We're just kind of gonna keep pulling these colors in, almost like we're blending them together, right? In the end, we're gonna come back through with another round of that Payne's Gray. We really needed this to fade just right. It was real scratchy. It is real scratchy. Oh, my soap. Last, where's my soap? Once again, if your brush is still scratchy, that's your stuff. It looks like that. Put a little water in it. So it's still a little wet from the other day. Get your brush in there. What happens is you've got something. Somehow I did not get the paint out of it right. So what I need to do is gently work a foam up and then get it into the bristles. Gently just kind of work it in. Give it a rub, wash, give it a tip. Getting there, getting there. Almost. What I'm trying to do is make sure it's gonna drag properly. And if you can't get it to fix, you might have a brush that is on its last legs. I think this one might just have a little too much cadmium in it. And it's kind of a parkly kind of paint. So it may take a second to get that out of there. We're almost back to normal. It definitely is something yellow. You can't see it from there, but it's changing the soap slightly. It's got a yellowish white hue instead of just straight white. Now you could do this with a little bits of purple. We might even come back with just a twinge of a purple wash for this. Yeah, this ain't purple. This is a dark ass chemical purple. Keep it away from the black and the Payne's gray and get confused. it's so dark purple. It's almost black. It's like purple, black purple. You thin it out. It's a little better. nice look. It'll kind of fade and turn into a purple as it goes. Really, really fun kind of look there. All right. Let's work on getting this guy with his first set of washes next. So with this, we're going to take our raw umber here. I'm going to get it nice and wet. And just grab his features. Pretty easy stuff here. Now good, and this is that opportunity where if you so chose, you could go probably with more of a black color to this. And you can vary it up. You can make a little bit of a thicker to give it more of a brown color, or you can go a little thinner to give it a little bit less. You could go with black if you really want to darken it down. I like the raw umber myself. It's you could always go with the lighter brown too. You could go with a burnt umber or maybe a sienna. Just like to get a little bit more of a drastic color. That's why some people might go with a black wash. If you wanted a super drastic break in colors. I find that I like the more natural color. If you hang around the station for a long time, you'll start learning. I don't actually use a lot of black. I use mostly other colors. The black I have is the primer. It started out as black. It's not black, and that's it. After that, like black's supposed to be the absence of light. Is what it is. Because like when you look at this, it's not really black. Parts of it are kind of black, but it's really more of a reflection of all the colors around it. But that's a lot of color theory there and stuff like that. That gets really complicated and kind of heady. I don't know that everybody comes to this channel for that sort of thing. But if you do, great. Color theory is awesome. You should definitely try to learn a little bit of it. What's the difference between hot and cold colors? And, what's where to use white, where to use black. Again, we don't use a lot of white unless it's for blending colors. And like I will use black. I'll use black on things that are supposed to be like mechanical stuff. It gets to be a little bit more of your future palette. You use blacks. If you're looking at industrial or tech, a little more about black stuff going on. But even then, the thing with going black, and here's a big reason why I don't like going all the way on black on a miniature per se, is that like once you go that dark, like it's as dark as you go, so you want to save it for the end, really. If you're not starting off with it as the beginning spring point. Okay, all that's got to dry. Where are we at? All right, it's about an hour. I'm like I said, I'm not feeling real well, so it's a great start. We'll come back and work on these guys again because I think people might be interested in these. So we're gonna have some fun with them as we go. Should be good. And who knows? Maybe I'll be back tomorrow at a different time slot or something. But I need to take a break. I'm starting to feel kind of bad, so I'm gonna take it just a little breather. Let's see. Pull this down. I'm starting to figure out what I'm doing. Yeah. Okay, we're good. yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Or not. Well, I'll see you next time. Let's say that because I don't know when the next time is. And yeah, and it's all gonna be okay. Uh, uh, oh, uh, anyway, be good to yourselves. Be good to somebody else. Be good to people who don't know. Um, you never know what somebody's going through, obviously, right? So spread the goodness out there. It's what the world needs, and we'll be back as soon as we can, right? We'll do finish these guys up. There's some fun miniatures, so we'll get that done. Anyway, guys, take care of yourself, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.